May, I'm not able to say share unless your shirt is closed. There's an Indian of sneers over here, you know?
I thought it was close. You couldn't say it was open.
No, just I'm looking at. Looking at.
You don't want to look at that. The 3 weeks.
Maybe that's just putting him in the right mood. Yes, you should leave your shirt open, put you in the right mood.
Huh? Nice. Okay. Anyway, says the that's it. Nun Hey and Aleph. A continuation of the Tikkun Olam, different inyanim. Okay. Hayed Rabbi Yochanan good Gadah, where they testified. This is speaking about in Yavne. You know, we're going to see in tomorrow's daf. Right? Tomorrow's daf that after the Churban Bayis Sheni, they came to Yavne. So this Eidos took place in Yavne. Some people say it was Nechunya. We have a different gersa, Nechunya ben Good Gadah. Either way, what was his Eidos? Al Chareshes Sheisi Avia. She was married off by her father. So this is a kedushin deraisa, right? This is a kedushin deraisa. Father is able, as speaking the Sakrish Hazeh, the father is Mekadesh, his daughter, she's Mekudeshes, even though the Chereshes doesn't have das. And the Chiddush is, she Yitzah beget. This is before the Rabbeinu Gershon that your man can't force his wife to, be divorced her against her will. You can force her, you can go ahead, despite the fact that she's a Chereshes and doesn't have das, that he was made even on a kedushin deraisa, you can go ahead and give her a get. That was chiddush number 1. Chiddush number 2, Val Kitana Bas Yisrael, Shenisas the Koye. Now this is speaking on this is the Rabbanon. We're speaking over here kedushin the Rabbanon. She was married off by her closest relative, either her mother or her. This is a kedushin mion, right? This kedushin where you can refuse the marriage. Shenisas the Koyen, that she's married to a Koyen. Shechelis betruma, she could eat what? She could eat truma, which is only, look at Rashi, guys. Vakatana bas Yisrael shenisas the Koyen. He is Saima. She is the assignment. Like having the suin element rabbanon. Therefore, the suin is only rabbinical in nature. Shechelis betruma de rabbanon, right? Hani the suin v'loy gazrina midi. You're not going to do anything. So now, what's kedusha? What's truma de rabbanon, guys? Most trumas that you know is trumas de rabbanon. The trumas de rice is only from the 5 grains and olives and grapes. Anything else would be the rabbanon. All fruit would be the rabbanon, and any other grain besides the 5 grains would be the rabbanon. So it encompasses a lot. So she would be able to eat truma de rabbanon. Since the kedusha is the rabbanon, she could eat truma de rabbanon. We don't make any gezeira whatsoever. We make no gezeiras whatsoever. A third in the Mesa, well, actually saying the Mesa Baila Yarsha, and if she dies, her husband inherits her. Okay.
Laser, but only Truma the Rabbanon, or even Truma the Raisa?
No, only Truma de Rabbanan.
Only Truma the Rabbanon. So you can't eat bread that they made.
One second. Benji wants to speak to you.
You didn't ask if you could ask a question.
Because I got on too late. He was already moving forward. That's why. So she can't eat the rice. Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah, when you say the Rabbanan, she can only eat the Rabbanan because the Kedushin is only the Rabbanan.
Yes. Oh, so it's a little difficult. Okay, I got it. Okay.
A beam that was stolen that's built into a mansion. Right? If you steal something, you have to return what you steal. The Heshim Shagazal. You steal a beam, you install it in a building, and now you have to go back to the beam. No one's going to return it, right? So what do? They made a takana sashavim to go ahead and incentivize a person to go ahead and do tshuva by returning the gazela. You return the value of it rather than what the actual beam. And finally, the alchatas hagazula, and a man steals an animal. He needs a chatas. So what does he do? The guy is consistent. He didn't have very requires the chatas. So he needs to go ahead and bring a carbon. So what does he do? He steals an animal and makes that animal is called chatas, right? Chatas gezula, shaloi noidol rabim. That's not known by others. It's not public knowledge that it was stolen. Shima chaperes, that man, it works. it works. In other words, you won't have to bring another carbon. It'll be mechaper. If they tick on mizbeach, the Gemara will explain what that is. Let's do the last Rashi in the Mishnah. Take the Tekanos HaMizbeach. The Gemara refarish exactly what is the Tekanos HaMizbeach. Umishum hanich tarti basraisa. These latter two cases, the case of Tekanos Hashavim, the Tekanos to return what to facilitate returning, and Tekanos from the Mizbeach. That's why it's learned in this parak. Because again, the digression from Masechta Gitin, sometimes you forget we've been, I don't know how many blot in, just ticking oilam. Now we have ticking a Mizbeach and ticking a Shav and ticking a Mizbeach. So it's for those last two dinim that it's included here in Masechta, in the fifth parak of what? Of Masechta Gitin. Okay, now. Amarava, me'idusay shel Rabbi Yochanan Gudgada, Amar le'edim, from someone said to Edim, Ru get shani naisinla. Look at this get that I'm about to go ahead with and give to her. Look at this get that I'm going to go ahead with and give to her. And then he turns to her and says, Kinsi shtar chayv zeh, take the shtar chayv. He doesn't tell you he's going to go a get. He tells Edim, not in front of her, look at this get that I'm about to give her. Then he goes to her and says, right, here's this get. Harizu Migureshes. She's Migureshes. Now, where do you see that from Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgada's din? In other words, Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgada said something that would make us believe that you don't need das. So there's one. Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgada, obviously, you're divorcing a chareshes. You're married to chareshes. She doesn't have das. So in Mela, we can extrapolate. You can give a get without das. Just like you're able to divorce the chareshes without das, so too you're able to go ahead and fool this kaviyachol. She thinks she's getting a shtar chayv. In fact, she's getting what? Surprise! She's getting the get.
Is not shaykh to ever have das. They could have made a takana, otherwise she never be able to get married.
But they didn't make a takana. They didn't make a takana. Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgada's chiddush was, again, what is the chiddush? He said a chiddush though. What was his chiddush? Despite the fact that she doesn't have das, you can divorce her. That's the chiddush. Memela, despite the fact that she thinks this is a shtar chov, you can divorce her. That's it. Again, there are differences between the two, but all we want to do is extrapolate that one din, that nekuda, that kav. Says pshita. What's the chiddush? So in other words, you might think that saying that this get is not a get, but it's a shtar chov, you could tight up. What's he doing? He's being mevatel the get. He would have said what to the Edim. He would have said that he's mevatel it, and therefore So why did he tell her shtar chayv? What's he getting by telling shtar chayv? If you're able to divorce her by giving her the get, why do you say shtar chayv? And that you said that it's a shtar chayv. He was embarrassed. I don't. Yeah, I get. Listen, embarrassed can't last too long, But he's divorced. But he's embarrassed to go ahead and say, "Here she gets." So he said, "What? Here's your shtar chov," even though what? In fact, it was not. It was a get. Okay, so that was the first thing Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgada that you can divorce against the will. Second thing, Valkatana bas Yisrael, right? Valkatana bas Yisrael, that you can go ahead and be mekadosh her. Kedusha derabanan, kedusha derabanan, and she can go ahead and she can eat truma derabanan. Right now, isn't it funny? Both a chareshes and a katana are similar. Cheresh right to a cotton, right? Okay. Why did they switch in the Mishnah the case from chareshes to a katana? If you're just telling me she has no das, be consistent. Stay within the realm. Stay with chareshes. Why are you switching to katana? There must be a chiddush over here, right? You're going ahead, you're switching from one who lacks das to another one that lacks das. There must be a reason for that. Why are you switching to that? Are you going from Valkatana bas Yisrael, Bilu Chareshes, Loy Achla? What a Chareshes won't. In other words, fellas, the diak is the fact that you said Kedafka Katana, it must be a Chareshes, would not eat. A man is Makadish. A man is Mekadesh Chareshes, he can divorce her. A man is Mekadesh Katana, she can eat Kiddush, she can eat Truma, the Rabbanan. Mashma but a Chareshes would not be able to eat. Why would you make that diak? Because you switched. Because if she could eat, Why would he testify in a katana? Stay within the realm and just say a chereshes can get divorced, and a chereshes the rabbanon could also eat. Says the Gemara, my timer. The reason why is that what if a cheresh kayin, right, might feed a chereshes a truma daraisa. Okay, now, and since the kedusha is the rabbanon, you won't have rishus. So we're geyser a regular kohen to a chereshes or to a chereshes. If a cheresh would marry a chereshes, it would be kedusha the rabbanon. If you allow the chereshes married to a normal kohen to eat truma the rabbanon, you may even allow a cheresh, and there you can't. Why not? And why not? Go ahead and eat. So fuss is go ahead and eat. Cotton oichel nevelisu. It's a case of a cotton oichel nevelis. That if a cotton eats nevela, we don't stop them. If a cotton eats nevela, we don't stop them. So who are then over here? Let them go ahead and eat, and we won't worry about it. So what if the cheresh would feed the chereshes? So what would the big deal? Rashi, let's see Rashi. Shema Yachel, go down a little bit. Koyin cheresh b'chereshes, isharis lahachol pikeach b'chereshes, asir la'achule cheresh b'chereshes. Uparech v'lechel, kot mechel nevelesu, hachereshes, even the less badaita, he kikotin. Since she doesn't have dash, she's like a cotton. Ha'oichel nevelis. Ve'ikol iman yom v'yavamis, de'im bezdin mitzuvim alav lahafishai. That bezdin is not commanded to make them separate. Va'afilu b'truma deraisa teichel, and you maybe even truma deraisa. So guys, let's go through let's follow the trail. Follow the trail. If a kohen marries a katana, she could eat truma. If a kohen marries chereshes, he can divorce her. Katana eats truma, chereshes can't. Why not? Why not? Why not? So I'll tell you why not. We're geyser a healthy kohen to a chereshes versus a cheresh to a chereshes. That if we let the regular kohen feed his wife truma d'rabbanon, then a cheresh might come to feed his cheresh's wife truma. Read the Gemara, so let them. What's the problem? Let them. Back in the Gemara. V'leichal kotna in the velas too. And for the Gemara, gezeir shema yachol cheresh b'pikachas. Right? That a cheresh, that's it. This woman marries a cheresh. She's a normal, healthy woman. And right. Yachol cheresh b'pikachas. And we're worried that she may come to eat truma deraisa. We're worried they may come to eat. Go ahead and feed a truma deraisa. So it seems we're geyser that a chereshes can't eat because we're worried the cheresh might go ahead. It's not doesn't seem to be a gezeira. The gezeira, it's all in the realm of the rabbanans over here, and therefore we're worried if you let a cheresh feed a chereshes, you may have a cheresh feed a bakachas, and that would not be okay.
So why aren't you worried about a katana with the same worry? That if she's eating truma d'rabbanan, she'll go eat truma d'raisa.
Again, right? Why are you not worried about what, a katana?
Yeah, the second case.
Yeah. Well, he's a healthy kohen. Why don't you worry about katana? If you look at Rashi asks you a question. It's the last line before it gets wide. You ready?
Yeah.
Avogadol b'katana lekel amigza mishum cotton b'gedoyla. The cotton leslie nesuin afilim b'derabanan. Hidam b'yivamis. Shaita b'cotton shenisu nashim neshaseim pituas min achalitza min ayibam. Right. Right. You can't have the opposite case, Meya. You know, you guys are, what are you guys are? You guys are a cheresh at the bikachas. What are you going to be guys over here? A cotton at the gedoyla?
No, a cotton that she eats.
Again, the whole reason is the gezerah. The gezerah of your case doesn't apply. What are you going to say? A man can't feed the katana gezerah atu, a cotton can't feed a gedoyla?
No, you're misunderstanding me.
I know.
Why aren't you worried?
I'm understanding you totally.
Okay, now why aren't you worried that a katana atu that she's eating truma d'rabbanan, she might eat truma d'raisa?
We're not worried about that. He's a healthy kohen. We're not worried about feeding that. That's not a kasha. I thought you were asking a better question.
Yeah. Okay, man. I guess I should have. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, the question you should have asked was answered by Rashi. Very good. Anyway, the next case was V'ala meirish hagazel shebanu. You have built into the building, and that what you go ahead and return it. Now, we said the kanas hashavim taner rabbanon gazel meirish. If you go ahead and steal a beam, ubanu kibira, and you build it into the building. B'shama yomim mikaka kolabira kula. You go knock down the whole building. Umachzir meirish lebaylav, and you return the beam. You only have the beam, which was our Mishnah, right? Which was our Mishnah. That was our Mishnah. What?
In the Mishnah says, "In God, they by his code."
What did I say?
No, you didn't say. I'm just elaborating that, and
I think I touched on a mansion.
by his code.
Yeah. So no, the rate over here is what happens if you don't have to knock down the whole building to return it. Let's say you built it into your front porch, right? But there's two opinions. One opinion is one that you would be. Another opinion is that no. Once it's built in, we don't expect you to go ahead and overturn anything.
What if you change that?
Yeah, but the Torah seems there's no shina ma'isa. You're just putting it down. You're just putting it down. Okay, fellas. Anytime something is stolen, we have to go ask the question. What about yesh? When a person goes in and gives up ownership. In other words, if you hold yesh kedi is kaina, yesh alone is kaina, all you have to return is not only if you steal a particular object and the owner gives up hope, then you just have to return the value. It's not shot that he's kind, yesh is kaina, and okay, you don't have to return anything. You have to give the value, but you don't have to give the thing itself. If yesh is not kaina, yesh kedi is not kaina, then what? Then you'd have to return the object itself. Now we get into the Torah of yesh and shina rishus, and this is really a parak in the parak Meruba, the seventh parak of Masechta Baba Kama. It was called Meruba. That's the main sugya over there. Here we're just going to touch upon it. It's enough for us to understand that whether yesh is alone is kaina or not. Says the Gemara. Now chatas hagazula, that's mechaper for the owner. What's the chatas hagazula? You steal an animal, and then you go ahead and you magdish the animal, and you as a chatas. Amaula, dvar Torah, and we said if it's not known, then you can go. It works. Dvar Torah bein noidu bein lo yinoda ein mechaperes. If you steal this animal, there's no way it's mechaper. If you steal this animal, there's no way it's mechaper. You know why? My timer yish kedi yish alone leikana. So in other words, you're not acquiring the animal. The Paisus points out, you're not acquiring linyan hakrava. But even if it could be you're kind of linyan something else, but linyan hakrava, to being as a carbon, you're not acquiring it. Now, so if I'm not acquiring it as a carbon, so there's no difference whether it's public knowledge that it was stolen or even if it wasn't public knowledge that it was stolen. It will make a difference, right? It doesn't make a difference. You should not be able to bring it. Why does the Mishnah therefore say if it's not known, it is mechaper? It does work. It's not yours. A person can't go ahead and bring a carbon that's not his. So you kahanim matzavim that the kahanim should not be worried. The kahanim should not be worried. In other words, the kahanim would go ahead and worry that maybe they're eating chulin bazara, because after all, this is not a real carbon. So to avoid that, right, as long as it's not known, right, the chachamim have the power to go ahead and be oikar or something, and they'll go ahead and they'll say that it's mechaper. Let's see Rashi over here. Okay, loikana, Rashi says about 6 lines up. Linyan hakrava. When it says liyish kedi linyan means linyan hakrava regarding bringing it as a carbon. Even if you hear the owner's miyayish, loy karina me karbonai. It's not considered his carbon. It's not considered his carbon. Even yish kedi is not karina. So even if you hear him, it doesn't work. And what's the reason? Therefore it should not be acceptable. Right? So that's the reason why they said if it's not known, then you can go ahead and eat it. I'm going to Rabban Le'ula back in the Gemara. We said it's tikkun hamizbeach. Where's the tikkun hamizbeach over here? Amalahem. Since the kahanim are depressed, they're worried. Nimsa Mizbeach bottle, the Mizbeach will be bottle. In other words, you're going to cause the Mizbeach to be bottle because the Kohanim are going to be paranoid to bring a carbon that maybe what? It was a stolen carbon, and it's not really a carbon in Chulin, and they'll be eating Chulin Bazara. Okay? So that's the opinion of Ula. So Ula learns that Kohanim Mizbeach is Rav Yehuda Aimer, Devar Torah, Bein Noida, Bein Loida Mechaperes. Whether it's public knowledge that it was stolen or not public knowledge that it was stolen, it's going to work. My timer, Yish Kedi Kana, Yish is Kana. If the Baal is Miyayish, it's enough of a now this person can go ahead and take it and bring it as a carbon. Amid Beis, Umatam Amru, Noida Ein Mechaperes. What's the reason we say if it's public knowledge that was stolen, that it's not Mechaper? So Yomru Mizbeach Eichel Gezelis. They shouldn't say the Mizbeach eats Gezelis. So if it right, so if it's not no, okay. So now you have two pshatim, guys. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Go back to the Mishnah. According to Ula, it's speaking that Yish Kedi is not kaina, and really no carbon should be good, and really even Shloi Noida should not be good. But if they tikkun a Mizbeach because the Kohanim should not be depressed and upset and down and concerned that maybe they're going to be bringing what Chulin Bazara, and that reason eating it. Therefore, what was the takana? That as long as it's not known, the carbon's good. That's the way Ula learned. Rabbi Yehuda says no. Rabbi Yehuda says the following: whether it's known or not known, really it should work. Really, it should work. Why should it work? Because Yish Kedi is kaina, so therefore it's considered carbon. No. So why doesn't it? So why doesn't it work? So why doesn't? So what's the reason that it has? What's the reason that it doesn't work? Is because we don't want that stolen goods should be on the Mizbeach. Stolen goods should be on the Mizbeach. Good. Now notice the lashon in the Mishnah is Shaloi Noida Rabin. Okay, back in the Gemara. Bishlem, second line down. Bishlem Ula. Bishlem according to Ula. That's why we learned chatas, meaning it's something that's edible, because we're worried about the kind of eating. El Rav Yehuda, my chatas afila oila nami. If you're worried that what the Mizbeach should not accept stolen goods, why does it have to be a carbon that you possibly could eat? It could be any carbon. So why did it dafka say chatas gezula? You could have said what? Oila as well, because an oila also, anything you're putting on this bag is going to be stolen. But according to Ula, the concern is only what? That the kohen should eat chulin ba'azara, memela oila, which is kolol, totally burnt. We didn't learn. And for the Gemara, loy mi boy kamar, enachinami. Loy mi boy oila de kololi. So certainly what? That's the mizbeach is stealing it. Elafilu chatas nami. The chaylev v'dam who the solek l'gabim mizbeach. It's only the chaylev v'dam that goes on the mizbeach. The idach, but the meat. Kahana machli le the kahana meat. So you might think it's not totally gezula. You shouldn't say mizbeach even on the chaylev and the dam part, not what the meat part. Okay, good. So we have our 2 days. Tanan, what does our Mishnah say? Al chatas hagezula shaloi noida l'rabim shehi mechaperes mifnei tikkun hamizbeach. That was our lashon of our Mishnah. Bishlei ula nicha. Very good according to Ula. It's very well known. If it's not known, right? If it's not known, so therefore bring it. No one knows it's stolen. The Kohanim can eat guzim tahait. El Rabbi Yehuda ipchami boyelei. Like Rabbi Yehuda, who says, right? It should say the opposite. Shenoida l'rabim. It should say chatas. No, it's what's the when don't you bring it, guys? Guys, when don't you bring it, guys? When don't you bring it? When the rabbin knows about it, because you're worried about the mizbeach going ahead and eating stolen goods. So it'd only be when it's known that it's stolen. In other words, according to Ula, if it's not known, then that's the takana. If it's not known, then you can go ahead and eat it. According to Rav Yehuda, it's dafka if it is known, is it a problem? Because the mizbeach, you know, knowingly going ahead and putting on mizbeach a stolen good. So the lashon of the Mishnah that says shaloi noida is mashma more like Ula than Rav Yehuda. But according to Rav Yehuda, ifchami boile, it should say shaloi noida l'rabim. It says nomara einachinami hachinami kamar loy noida mechaperes If it's not known, it is mechaper. Noida ain't mechaperes. If it's known, it's not mechaper. Mifnei taking a mizbeach because they're going to say mizbeach is eating stolen goods. Masav Rava, we're going to ask kasha and ula. Masav Rava, we're going to ask kasha and ula. Okay, this is classic Baba Kama Maruba. Gonav, a guy steals something, the higdish, and he's magdish it. He's magdish. He steals an animal. He's magdish the animal. The achakach tavach umachar, and then he goes ahead. So he stole either shor or a seh. He then goes ahead. What? He's magdish it. He then goes ahead and he shechts it or sells it. So usually, if you go ahead and steal a shor or seh, and you pay kefil. If, however, you shecht it and sell it, then you pay dalit for the dalit for the shor. No, dalit for the seh and 5 for the shor. Right. So now, mishalim tashlumei kefil. He pays kefil because after all he's a ganef. Ganef pays kefil. Ve'ini mishalim tashlumei bar v'chamisha.
I think it's five for the set because of the busha.
He goes through embarrassment. So that's paying more.
Oh no. Well, he pays less.
So you're paying less, right? Now, you pay kefil. Why? Because you stole. You steal. You're a ganef. You pay kefil. Why aren't you paying dalid v'hei? Because it's hegdish, and there's no din of dalid v'hei by hegdish. Good. The Tani Allah b'chutz ki gavna. If you would shech this animal b'chutz, if you stole an animal, you will magdish the animal and you shechted it outside. Einish kares. You're going to be chayiv kares for shchutei chutz. If an animal, guys, an animal that can be bought as a carbon, if you don't bring it to oil moyed as a carbon, you shecht it outside, you chayiv kares. You chayiv kares. So let's go, guys. Information. Let's go through the information. Kefil, yeah, good. Dalad v'hei, no, right? But what? But you would pay. You would pay what? You be chayiv kares for shechting mechutz. V'i amit yish kidi leikana like you. What do you say? Ula, what are you saying? You're saying that yish kidi leikana kares maya vidite. Then why is there a chi of kares? In other words, never was hegdish. So you can ask a kasha now. What's the kasha? So it was negda hegdish. You be chayiv dalad also. Guys, in other words, guys, look at me. Let's go through the steps. You steal something kefil, that's a no-brainer. You don't pay dalad v'hei because it's hegdish, right? You don't pay dalad v'hei because it's hegdish, and you be chayiv kares on the outside. We're asking a kasha from Ula, why are you chayiv kares? If it's not hegdish, then you should not be chayiv shchutei chutz. Why doesn't it ask if it's not hegdish? Then why are you chayiv dalad v'hei? Why are you not chayiv dalad v'hei? You stole and then you shed, right? And the answer is, if you medayik in Rashi, the lashon of yish kidi was le'inyan hakrava. It was not, you want kind of le'inyan being as a carbon, it wasn't. But einachinami le'inyan dalad v'hei, it could be hegdish. Just yish kidi le'inyan hakrava, dafka le'inyan being as a carbon. So therefore, they only asked from the chorus, the shechita of chorus part. Not they couldn't ask for the dalad hay part because they nachinami le'inyan that it could be what it could be hegdish. Okay, so very good. So now, Frag the Gemara Ula said the reason that what the reason is because kahanim atzavim because the michulim bazara because he is just kaina. So why over here we be chayiv chorus? I'm at yish kedi like kana chorus ma'avidete Rav Shizvi chorus midivreim midrabanan chorus. His friends laughed at him on Rav Shizvi. Is it possible that what? Karis to Rabbanon, guys. Karis is obviously Hashem is the one who hands out Karis. You can't be chayiv Karis to Rabbanon. Malchus to Rabbanon, yeah, but Karis. So Amalu Rava told them, Gava Rabba Amar Milsa, Rav Shizvi, a Gava Rabba, a great person said something. Don't laugh. You don't laugh. Karis al yidei devreim basalai. This is karis that what came as a result of what of the Rabbanan Gitin. Why? Because ukmi Rabbanan rishusei, the Rabbanan put it, even though Yish is not kaina, the Rabbanan put it in his rishus kehechi dechayev Allah in order to mechayev and what the karis perish. It has a din of a carbon, and therefore it's shchutei chutz. But if Yish kidi is not kaina, then why you chayiv kares? And the answer is because the chachamim were machmir on this guy to put it in his rishus, right? In fact, Rashi says ukmi rabbanim b'shus ganiv that imikdisha sheyachol of hegdish gamor, that total hegdish should be upon it l'inyan that even you be chayiv shchutei chutz, which is chayiv kares in mishchatena b'chutz. Keheki looking b'shus l'inyan kapara v'knas he the konsu v'hefke bezin hefke hu v'kitcha. Hefke, when Bechavim using the din of Hefke Bez and Hefke to make the money his money, the animal his animal, and therefore when he was Magdish, the animal was total Hegdish. When he was Magdish, the animal was total Hegdish. Amar Rava says, they come by, but here I have a Shaila. Say, when they put him in his Rishus, Mishas Geneva, does it become his at the time of Geneva, or Mishas Ekdisha, or the time of Ekdisha? That's my Shaila. So now, I know it's his, and if he makes it a carbon, it's a carbon. But the question is, does he make it is it his when he makes it a carbon, or is it his when he steals it? Why would the nafkamina be? Then you're getting the sharings. Let's say it's a wool. Would you get the wool or the babies? If it's Mishas Geneva, he would get the babies. If it's Mishas Ekdisha, he won't get babies. Mishas Ekdisha. Mistamit becomes this at the time of the Hegdish, that the chayta should not gain by the fact that he stole it and now he's going to get babies. He's going to steal it and he's going to get babies. Okay, so Yotzimid Varenu, we have two huge chedushim over here. The Inyan, first the Inyan Meirish, that the takonis of Shavim, and then the Inyan takonis on Mizbeach, Machloikas Ula and Rabbi Yehuda. What exactly is takonis Mizbeach? According to Ula Yish Kedilai Kana, and really it should not be a carbon at all, but the Chachamim make it a carbon. According to Rabbi Yehuda, right, it is not. It is a full-fledged carbon because the Yish was Kedi, and the reason why it's not acceptable is they shouldn't say the Mizbeach is what is a ganif. Stolen goods is going on Mizbeach.
You have place of Yish Kedi and Shini.
No, Yish Kedi means without anything.
But when now
Yish Shina Rishus, that would be different. Yeah, then it says.
we put it into Hegdish.
Right. No, Shina Rishus means no.
Has to go to
He can't be no, it has to be before him. It would have to be the guy sells it, and then the next person is managing. Yet you need a before him. Okay, now the next Mishnah segues into. It's amazing. In the 3 weeks with this guy's Daf Nun Vav is the Kamsa Bar Kamsa. Daf Nun Vav is Kamsa Bar Kamsa. That everyone knows the story. We'll see it B'ez Hashem tomorrow. But this is the sugya. Listen, it's a little early, right? But Rabbi Yami's smiling. He loves it. Anyway, so this is the Gemara. A Sikrikin is a person, fellas, who would you're so worried that he's going to kill you, you'll give him anything to go ahead and get off the back. Rashi says the lashon Sikrikin comes from lashon sa karka. Take my karka. Sikrikin. Take my karka. I don't want to be killed. Okay, so now. Sikrikin be Yehuda. There were no Sikrikin in Yehuda, but beharuge milchama. There was no Sikrikin in Yehuda b'shas the haruge milchama. However, meharuge milchama ve'elech yesh ba Sikrikin. Now it sounds very odd. It means during war there weren't Sikrikin, and after the war they were Sikrikin. That makes no sense, right? It would make sense that during the war there was Sikrikin. In other words, they were empowered by the fact there's a war. But it's mashma over here that no, they weren't until after the war. We're going to see what it means. What exactly it means. This is Churban by Sheni. This is Churban by Sheni. The Melchama here is Melchamas Titus, guys. This is Melchamas by Sheni. Now, why Dafke in Yehuda? Look at Taisus, guys. Yehuda beharuge Melchama. Yerushalmi b'Rishoina Gazu Gezerah al Yehuda. Initially, they were Geyser the Gezerah on Yehuda. Lefi Shemisaris biyadam. They had a tradition, me'avosam from their father. She Yehuda harag Esav. Yehuda killed Esav. D'chsiv yadcha ba'arif evecha. Your hand will be against the neck of your enemy, right? Tanyanami b'sifrei yadav ravloi. B'sifrei it says yadav ravloi, right? B'shasha harag Esav. That your hands ravloi work with it fought with him. B'shasha harag Esav when you go ahead and kill Esav. Taisus the kasha. The Chushim killed him. Maybe they both killed him. We discussed this when we did. Saita, but that's why there was the Gezeira in Yehuda, right? So like Hoya Sikrikim be Yehuda, Barugim Melchama. Okay, Ketzad, what's the Lokach Misikrikin? If a person would buy the field from a Sikrikin, so the Sikrikin took the field from Ruvain, and Shimon bought it from him. The Chazav Lokach, and then he made a kinyan, and then Shimon made a kinyan Ruvain. If he gave Ruvain money, of course it'd be his fields. He didn't give him money. He made a kinyan. He paid off the Sikrikin, and now he wants the blessing of the owner that the Sikrikin went ahead and took it from, and he made a kinyan with him. So he took it from Ruvain. Mechrei batal, the mekach batal. You know why? Because the Ruvain is scared the Sikrikin will kill him. In other words, the mafia took the field. He went ahead to the guy. You say, of course, he's going to say, "Oh, of course," However, mi balabayas, he went before he went to Sikrikin. He went to the balabayas. Then the chazab lakim Sikrikin, and then he bought it from Sikrikin. Then mekach kayim. Then the mekach would be kayim if he went to the balabayas first. Lakach min ish v'chazab lakim min isha. Similarly, a din. The man, the nifsei miloy, any type of property that his wife has, if he went ahead and bought it first from the man, and then he went to the isha, mechei batal, because the woman she wants to please her husband. She really doesn't want to sell it. Just like the Ruvain didn't really want to sell it to Shimon, but he was scared of Sikrikin. Here also, the woman that really doesn't want to sell it, she just doesn't want to get, have a fight with her husband. However, from the isha, first he buys from the isha, because look from the ish, then mechei kayim. Then it would be what? It would be a good deal. Zu Mishnah Rishayna. This is the first way they learn. However, no. Once you buy from the Sikrikin, you don't have to go back to the owner to buy it or make a kinyan. But what do? You go ahead and give the owner a quarter of the worth of a field. It seems the Sikrikin is not going to sell to you for face value. He's going to give you a discount of a quarter. Any stolen goods, right? You're going to go get it at a discount. So he's going to get a discount of a quarter. So give the balabas that quarter of amount, and it's yours. That's tafka if the Ruvain, the original person who was stolen from, does not have the physical ability, doesn't have the resources to buy the field. That's the din of Sikrikin, that he gets first dibs. If he doesn't get first dibs, then you get a chance, you give him a quarter, and that's good. You give him a quarter, and that's good. Rabbi Hoishev Bezdin v'nimnu Shem Shasa b'fnei Sikrikin Shneim Asachodesh. If it's in the hands of Sikrikin for 12 months, Kol Hakoydon Likach Sacha, right? You then the 12 months, then the owner loses his right to first dibs. But you always have to give the owner what? First dibs. So now, according to the Tanakama, first dibs always remains in the hand of the original owner. According to Rabbi, only for 12 months. But either way, the din is you'd have to give that quarter, that discount that they were amid, you'd have to give to the original owner. Now the lashon of the Mishnah was strange, guys. Look at the lashon of the Mishnah. There wasn't Sikrikin during the war, but after the war there was. Doesn't make any sense. Usually during the war, that's when lives are cheap and you can kill somebody. But sometimes after the war's over, you can't have people going around and extorting and saying, "I'll kill you, give me a field." So I'm Rabbi Yehuda. It doesn't mean they weren't Sikrikin. It means they did not have the din Sikrikin. In other words, during the war, they didn't judge Sikrikin. Only after the war did they have the din of Sikrikin. Domer of Asi, Gimel Gezeris Gozru, they were 3 Gezeris that they were Gozer. What was the 3? The Romans made 3 Gezeris. Kamaisa, the first Gezer was Kol B'loi Katel, anyone who doesn't kill Jews, Lik Delu, they shall be killed. That's the first Gezer. If you're not going to kill Jews, you're going to be killed. But Siyasai, the middle one is Kol the Katel Leisi Arba. Anyone who kills will have to pay 4 Zuzi, Arba Zuzi. Another pshat is anyone who kills will get rewarded for Zuzim, but you won't get killed. Basraisa, the latter one, Kol the Katel, anyone who kills a Jew, Lik Delu, they'll be killed. In other words, they went down from during the war to end of the war. During the war, it was, but after the war, no. Now, Hilkach, Kamaisim Siyasa, where your blood was cheap and you were able to kill Kim in the Katli, Agav Einse, Gomro Makne. Guys, the din of Sikrikin, what's the din of Sikrikin? That the person doesn't really want to give it away, correct? So when it says over here, Lehoya Sikrikin Yehuda, you know what it means? There were these guys. But the din of the Sikrikin didn't apply because your life was on the line. And therefore, since your life was in the line, when you gave the field, did you give it willingly? Yes, you did. That's the point. So when the Mishnah says there wasn't Sikrikin, it means this whole halacha that we convoluted over here, that, back and forth, that didn't exist. You know why? Because since the Gezerah was the Roman will kill you unless he'll be killed, the Roman will kill you, he'll get money. So therefore, why he's going to kill you? So why do we say, gesund hype? There it is. But the last one, no. The last one, if you gave it to the guy, is only you really weren't marking it to the guy, right? Hilka, kamaisim etziyasa kivin the kotli agavayin say gomer matne. Basraisa that they'll be killed if they kill you. Amri, you say, but in the lishko, I'll let him take it today, and lamacher tavana le bedina, and tomorrow I'll bring him the din because I know he can't kill me, and that's the din. Okay, Bez Hashem. Tomorrow we'll do the din of kamsa by kamsa.